You might have heard about this. Last month, Caitlyn Jenner introduced herself to the world. And tonight, she will make her television debut in E's new docu-series, I Am Kate. Now, in a clip released before the show's premiere, Caitlyn discusses the violence some trans Americans face. Take a listen.
I feel bad that these, especially young people, are going through such a difficult time in their life. We don't want people dying over this. We don't want people murdered over this stuff. What a responsibility I have towards this community.
Caitlyn has plenty of reason to worry here. The epidemic of violence against trans people, especially trans women of color, shows no signs of slowing here. 13 trans women were killed in 2014, and all but one were Black or Latina.
And we're only halfway through this year, and already 11 women are dead, according to the LGBT news magazine, The Advocate. That's why this morning I want to make a point of saying these 11 women's names. Poppy Edwards, Limia Bird, Ty Underwood, Yasmin Vash Payne, Taja Gabrielle de Jesus, Penny Proud, Christina Gomez Rinwald, London Chanel, Mercedes Williamson, and as of this week, India Clark and Casey Haggard. On Tuesday morning, India Clark was found beaten to death in a Tampa park. She was 25. And on Thursday night, 66-year-old Casey Haggard was killed on a sidewalk in Fresno. According to a local trans activist who viewed footage of the incident, Haggard sought help after being stabbed, but, quote, no one stopped. She collapsed on the sidewalk, and then many pedestrians just did nothing but look at her body on the ground as she bled out. Joining us now are Chase Strangio, staff attorney at the ACLU's LGBT and AIDS Project, and in Cleveland, Alicia Garza, special projects director at the National Domestic Workers Alliance and co-creator of the hashtag Black Lives Matter. Alicia, thank you so much for joining us. You were in Cleveland for the movement for Black Lives National Convening, where organizers are being intentional and intersectional about addressing anti-trans violence as part of its work, right? So what do you see as the connection and commonalities between Black Lives Matter and the violence disproportionately facing trans women of color?
Well, just to say, I think that the relationship between Black Lives Matter as a movement and the violence that is facing trans women of color and Black trans women in particular is that it's an important conversation for us to be having, especially within the Black community. What we're seeing here is that not only is there an epidemic of violence against Black bodies, but certainly within Black communities, there is an incredible epidemic of violence against Black trans bodies. And when we talk about Black lives mattering, we have to make sure that we're talking about all Black lives. And certainly we are pushing within our movement to ensure that Black trans women and their experiences are centered because, quite frankly, when the average life expectancy of a Black trans woman is 35 years old in this country, we have a lot farther to go.
Chase, 35 years old. What can we do policy-wise? What can we do legally in law?
So thank you both for having me today and for naming all of the people who have been murdered this year. I think just as an initial matter, as we conceptualize what this violence means, we have to think about it both in terms of violence perpetrated by individuals, but also the systemic violence perpetrated by the state that makes it so that Black trans women in particular have a limited life expectancy that subjects them to premature death. And so when we look at our legal landscape, we have to understand that all of the violence exerted on Black bodies that Janet was speaking about in her letter to Governor Bush, right, that we have to understand that that is the same violence that's targeting Black trans bodies, and that we have to understand that our legal interventions must be holistic. We must decrease barriers to health care for trans people. We must decrease barriers to access to housing, to employment, but we also critically must interrupt the cycles of violence that lead to disproportionate incarceration for trans women of color and Black trans women in particular.
So legally, what's the one thing you want to see, legally?
Legally, I think it's impossible to pick one thing, because when we're looking at the systems, it's all interconnected, but the base of this violence has to be located in the criminal legal system, and that we have to end mass incarceration, and we have to disrupt the criminalization of black bodies and black trans women in particular.
It's so powerful, right? We talk about legalities and what on the books do we want to see in order to push this conversation forward, but we also know that the other piece of it, not just policy change, but also culture change is so important. So I feel like the media's representation of trans womanhood or black trans women is necessary to change. What do you think about the landscape, particularly right now with trans women of color in media?
You know, what I think is the first issue is that we need to stop misgendering people in the media. And there needs to be some type of fine that's put into place for outlets, for media outlets, whether they be print, online, radio, or what have you, that decide that they're just not going to call people by their name, right? And that they're going to misgender them just because they can. And that's what we saw with Casey Haggard, we saw in the press, we've seen all over the place, and it's ridiculous. There are guidelines that have been put in place by GLAAD, right, that have been put out to all press outlets. And if you don't follow them, you should be fined by the FCC. It should be that serious.
That's a powerful point to make. I think that there's so much too that we talk about who gets proper treatment in media and who doesn't, right? Alicia, I want to bring it back to you. One person that's getting a lot of attention in media and whose story is told in also obviously a very celebratory way is Caitlyn Jenner and reality TV and television. Do you believe that her story will help change the discourse around this issue?
I think what it will do is it will provide more exposure to the experiences of some trans women. What I would love to see is more exposure for black trans women and trans women of color who certainly don't have cameras following them, right? But are experiencing extreme and in some cases very painful conditions. What we saw, for example, in the case of KC, right, is that someone could be murdered on the street and be standing there asking for help and nobody would reach out, right? So, I'm interested in seeing how those images get populated throughout the media, but I'm more interested in thinking about how is it that we visibilize and make visible the experiences of trans women of color who are not, living with a level of prestige. I think that's where we really need to dig in.
Alicia Garza in Cleveland, thank you so much. And our thanks to Chase Strangio here in New York. Danielle will be back with us in the next hour.